Well then. Hello, everybody. I'm gonna do this. No notes this time. Nothing at all. But me talking off the top of my head. You know what? I'm already sick of that smooth jazz. Welcome back to another episode of Lovely Night for It, everybody. It has been a while. I've been really trying to get back into this, but whatever. I just haven't. I can't really come up with too much bullshit as to why I haven't. I just really haven't felt it. But I have a story to tell today. Just like every other episode, I'm just going to yap and yap about something that happened to me and hope that you're interested. So I hope you're along for the ride. So, some of you may know that I recently took a road trip for the first time since I was 6, maybe 8 years old, from the upper East Coast where I live all the way down to Florida. Although this time not with just me and my dad to visit my uncle, like when I was younger, but I was offered my stepfather, who remarried, bought a new house with his new wife. So he asked me earlier this month if I wanted to go with him and help him move furniture, essentially. And at first, I was open to it, but I wasn't too crazy into it because I don't know. I haven't really left the New England area since I used to road trip as a youngster. So I was sort of 50-50. I didn't really give him a definite answer yet. And then I learned something. The woman that he married had been married before and had some kids, including a 19-year-old daughter. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Fairly attractive, let's say. Not really my type, I thought, but we'll get to that. Because this story has a few turns, actually. So, once I discovered that this kind of cute country type girl with a dog was going to be road tripping there too, I said, you know what? I definitely can go. Suddenly, I was all straight answers. Like, okay, we'll take this long weekend and I'll drive 20 hours with you down to Florida with a horse trailer full of furniture. So the time comes around, and earlier that day, I'm hanging out at their house with my sister and her boyfriend, and I'm trying out VR for the first time. Now, VR is not at all what I expected it to be. Throwing on that game, I think it was some sort of it was first person cartoony looking, and most of it was centered around an elevator. You could do different shit. You could jump off a platform. It really fucks with your senses. I felt like I was really doing that shit and really there. I didn't expect that at all from VR, but here I go, sounding like a 50-year-old man who's never played a video game before. So I have the goggles on, and they're laughing because I'm totally new to this, and I'm like, whoa, wow, look at this. Just making an ass of myself, as I typically do. And the girl, well, I guess not my stepsister, definitely not. So my stepfather's third wife's oldest kid, my half-sister's stepsister. I don't know what makes me sound like less of a creep. But she arrives with her husky, which is a cool fucking dog. Oh my god. This dog was the greatest. Anyway, she arrives and already off to a bad start. Because I'd met her once before, but very, very briefly at something where we just kind of chatted for a little bit. And I didn't really have any interest in her at all. But then I realized around the time of this approaching, I'm like, wow, actually, you know what? She's really fucking cool. I normally don't get along with a lot of girls around the area I'm in. But I don't know. She's very country. Very just sort of fuck it, one of the boys sort of vibe. A lot of the same opinions as me, which is good, which you don't really find up here up north, but I'm not going to go off into that. So anyway, she arrives and I'm making a fool of myself on VR, and already I'm like, oh boy, okay, here we go. This is going to start off bad. This is going to start out with me looking dumb. And it did. So we pack up all of our things, we hop in the truck, and we start the 20-hour drive. And the plan is, because my stepfather is he's been a tractor trailer driver cross country for about 30 years, that we would take shifts driving. It was the three of us going. Me, my stepdad, and this girl. So every however many hours, 10 hours, whatever, not 10, I guess, a few hours, because we cycled through, somebody would take over and then the others could sleep or do whatever the hell they really wanted to do. So we are driving through. I'm going to go state by state here. I told you I'm doing this without a script, so if I get scatterbrained, you're just going to have to try to follow along. So we make it through, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so New York is the first big thing. I have not been through New York. Well, I must have been when I was little with those road trips, but I was probably asleep. The last time I remember going was I went to Manhattan in 2002 when I was a little fella, and visiting the Ground Zero, which at that point was just a chain link fence around a fucking field. That was very sad. And I say it's very sad and then I laugh. What a good person I am. So driving through this time, I'm like, whoa, this isn't what I expected. You don't get to see too much from 95 until you look off to your left and you can see the skyline. At this point, it was nighttime and it was very far off in the distance. So you almost, like some sort of sketch, you could see the silhouettes and sort of outlines of the tops of buildings, a few lights, and I'm like, holy shit. I know I'm coming off as a tourist because this girl that I'm with actually is from New York, upstate New York, but I think she goes to school in the city. I don't know. I should know, but I don't. So another point against me, acting like a fucking tourist, going through New Jersey, being like, oh, I wonder if I could match up where we are with things in the Sopranos intro, because I'd watched that last year. And I did find a couple things. There was that little water tower that says drive safe. I think the toll booths were the same one. No, I don't even know, thinking back. But anyway, so we're driving through. And we get down to New Jersey. And we decide we're going to stop off at the rest area. I think it was like Thomas Edison something rest area. And it's like 11 at night, maybe. Something like that. We decide, okay, we're going to give this dog a walk because he needs to, as she quotes, and I love this phrase, I've never heard it before. Now, whenever anything has to do with getting energy out, get the zoomies out, like to just work off energy. I don't know why I love that term, but I do now. So the dog had to get the fucking zoomies out. And then me, my stepdad, and her decide we're going to grab food inside. At this point, it is pouring rain, and I, being the dumb northerner that I am, didn't dress appropriately. I brought some clothes and things with me, but I brought just the dumbest. I stuck out like a sore thumb when we got south, but I'll get to that too. I had a one of my flat caps, this fucking Uncle Junior looking newsboy thing, and t-shirt, jeans, not jeans, sort of jeans. I don't know how to describe them. They look like jeans, but they're not like your typical Levi's. And t-shirts and like undershirts and shit. No jacket. So I am freezing running across this parking lot into the place. And me and her decide, because the first time we met, we both bonded over the fact that we have an addiction to Chick-fil-A. We decide, okay, we'll go in. There's a Chick-fil-A here. We're going to chill. And I'm like, okay, in my head, I'm like, ooh, an opportunity to chat with this girl a little bit, which is great. We walk in. Fucking everything is closed except the Burger King with a line that is 20 people long. And I'm like, oh, fucking Burger King? So, I don't think I have to give you too many details. We wait in line to get Burger King. And it sucks because we did not want Burger King. We wanted Chick-fil-A. God fucking damn it. But we didn't get it. So, we get that. It takes like an hour. So we're already kind of just in moods. Everyone is, because my stepfather's tired because he worked all day and then decided he'd drive 20 hours. And both of us didn't get our food. I'm not used to sitting in a car for more than maybe a couple hours at most because I live in a very tiny, tiny state. A little state of Rhode Island. So everything is within a 45-minute drive. And she's made trips before. She would always go to like Nashville and shit. This girl was really... which I think is one of the things I kind of like about her. Is really, really adventurous, which I think is cool. Because I'm so used to a type. I never thought I had a type, but when meeting this girl, I kind of discovered, hey, I think I have a new type. No more redheads who won't give me the time of day for years that I'll simp over forever and ever and ever and ruin my life and mental state over and never truly recover. Instead, there's this blonde, just no bullshit country girl, country music, which I didn't like, but after this trip, I'm really kind of channeling my inner Southern boy that I know I've been repressing forever. I keep getting really off track on this. This is why it's better when I have a script. So I think that's when I started realizing on the trip down that I really was like, okay, I think I have a thing for this girl. And I am not usually the type to anymore. I was when I was a teen, but just fall for girls. Usually one little thing will disgust me about a girl and I'll be like, ah, fuck her. I don't even want to speak to her. I'm not even going to look her in the eye. But this girl, it was like, oh my God, this is the first time since there was this girl, Nikki, in like 2018 that I thought there was going to be something and then there wasn't. And then there really hasn't been anyone since. I've just kind of been alone and depressed, but I don't know. I just started to kind of like the vibe. It was a cool type of girl that I had never really known. Drinking whiskey straight type girl. Partying country music. I'm just retreading old ground now telling you this. So anyways, we are driving more. She's playing all these cool songs. And it comes time to switch off for driving. Now me, I'm a little bitch boy, so I was fading in and out of sleep. So she takes over driving. And at this point, it is pretty much, for most of the trip, her and my stepfather who alternate driving. They just never asked me to do it. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll just sleep because I'm not used to sitting here. And I realize now what a big mistake that was. I could have been on top of my game. I could have chatted. I mean, we were fairly similar. But I was just kind of like half asleep the whole time because I'm not used to these road trips. So now we're working through sort of Jersey, Virginia. Most of Virginia and North Carolina was when the rest of the car slept. I guess it was the timing of us leaving. And we stop at a place, actually, that she tells me about. She's like, oh my God, you have to try this place. It doesn't exist around where you are. The closest one to me is in Jersey. It's called Wawa. I think I'd vaguely heard about it before. I think in one of the stream chats that I'm in, somebody brought it up. And I'd never tried it, never had it. So most of this trip we were looking forward to, but we never really did end up stopping there on the way down. This Wawa place. So I'm hearing these tales about that restaurant on the way down. And eventually we make it toward Florida. I think it might have been Georgia we were in. And it's the morning now. We had stopped multiple times because this horse trailer and old Dodge, not old Dodge truck, it was like 2012. It's not old. What am I fucking saying? Had to fill up. It was getting like 9 miles to the gallon, which kind of sucked. But we would stop at gas stations, pee, get water, get a small snack, and keep driving. I actually offer, because they're both kind of tired, hey, I'll drive this time. We're mostly traveling down 95. I used to be a driver for my job when I worked for AutoZone. I was a commercial driver. So 5 days a week, I'd be zipping all around the state. I'll drive for a little bit. Nice and open. It'll be easy. We're in the parking lot of a Dunkin' Donuts across from a gas station where we just pulled up. So I get in and I'm like, okay, I've driven trucks before. That's no problem. I'm good with gauging that. Biggest mistake of the trip, I believe. I think me and this girl, at the time I thought maybe there was a chance of something. I wasn't exactly on top of my game, but I knew it was at a point where it could still easily be recovered. I drive not even 100 feet into the drive-thru with this trailer, and I get it stuck on a curb. You know the curve around where the drive-thru box is? I get stuck because I can't judge trailers. That I've never driven with a trailer. And I thought it would be a bit easier, just take wide turns, whatever. It was, I get douche chills now. One of the most emasculating things I've ever had to live through in my entire life. because I drive and I'm like, trying to correct it. And I just look to my stepfather. It has been not even 2 minutes, maybe a minute and 10 seconds since I put it in drive. I look at him and I just go, I think this was a mistake. This is a bad move. So here I am. There's this tough country girl who I'm sure, whatever her type is not a groggy city boy who sticks out like a sore thumb who can't drive a trailer 20 feet in a parking lot. So now I'm starting to go, uh-oh. now it's really starting to set in that I am a piece of garbage. So me and him switch, and I just go back to the back seat. And for the rest of the ride, I am just about silent. I think I tried to just kind of look out the window and do my thing. But I know I had to just look defeated. Because I was utterly defeated and embarrassed. I made sure to crack jokes about it along the way, because that's the only way I can deal with pain and misery, is to joke about it. I always have. So a little bit of a self-deprecation always helped. And eventually, after a long time, we enter Florida. We pass the sign. At this point, it's her driving, me in the passenger seat. And as we're driving, just me and her in the passenger seat, my stepfather laying on the back seat, sleeping, because he's been driving for fucking ever, I go, wow, this is like a picturesque vision of the life I would love to live. Me, a girl, in the middle of the fucking sticks, where I know I truly belong and always have, with a cool fucking husky puppy, just energetic, like sticking its head between the two seats from the back, like super friendly, driving, listening to music that I now was getting obsessed with. It's funny, being the one genre I used to despise, country music is now kind of my thing. And I go, whoa, this is the life. Because I realized that driving through a lot of the southern states, for all the jokes we make about it, it is real. Like, it's real life. The people down there are real. It's just average. There are like these metal like trailers, but not the ones on wheels, like the boxy, just ones that are in the ground. Just people with normal cars, normal neighborhoods, and they're all like just living their lives. And I'm like, holy shit, that is not what it's like up north. People are aggressive. It's city shit, garbage attitude that I can't stand. I've never been that. I've lived here my whole life, but I've never been that guy. So while I'm thinking about this, sirens come on behind us, or the lights rather. And in the middle of our conversation, she looks to me and goes, I think we're getting pulled over. And I'm like, what? But we just got here. Well, that's what I'm saying in my head. Really, I'm just looking like, oh shit, really? But in my head, I'm like, fuck, we're so close. We're like 17 hours into this 20-hour drive. Come on, fuck. And it turns out we wake up my stepdad and we go, oh, we're getting pulled over. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? It turns out, because we were driving a horse trailer full of things, apparently California and Florida are the two states where you have to stop in these agricultural way stations where they just check your load and whatever. And we didn't do that. And of course, they don't know that we don't have horses, so they think we're smuggling fucking animals or whatever. So we get pulled over, have to deal with that. It's 90 fucking degrees. We have all the windows down. We're stopping the dog from jumping out. Cop does his thing, and we keep going. Now, when we get close, there is something called Wawa at a gas station. And we go, oh shit, here we go. This is it. I go in there, I place my order, but yet another emasculating thing. Of course, because I dropped the ball. The summary of this is going to be, I dropped the ball at so many instances where I could have been king shit, but I'm just a mess. And for some reason, being tired and off my game had a domino effect where I couldn't even be me. So I order my stuff on the little screen, and I'm standing there in line. But it turns out, and I don't know this because I'm from the north, we don't do this, you don't pay when you get your food. You go to one of their normal gas station counters and you pay. So I'm just standing there for like 10 minutes, and I think she walks by and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, waiting for my food. And she's like, did you pay yet? And I had to actually explain, like, what, you don't pay right there, but there's a lady standing right there when I get to the counter. It's like a register and everything. What do you mean? It's like, no, you go through there and you pay. So I ended up doing that. Another moment of, oh, I'm a piece of shit. Something else I noticed, they sell alcohol anywhere down there. You can walk into a gas station and they have a back room, like a freezer room that's open to the public, where you just buy beer at a convenience store. Some of you are like, yeah, no shit, but that's not how it is up here. You can only buy alcohol at liquor stores that are only allowed to be open during certain hours. And that's just it. I mean, you can get like a beer at Chick-fil-A. I'm a fucking asshole. You can get a beer at Chipotle. They have it in the thing, but I don't think you can leave with it. So this is just like, holy shit, my people. I want to start fucking strumming a banjo right now. This is great. This is perfect. I get this homemade panini or whatever. I think I actually saved. I wish I had it with me. I think I saved the receipt, so someday I could order the same thing again next time I go. Because holy fuck, it was incredible. I got that and some buffalo mac and cheese. Super good. And then I got a pack of, was it a White Claw variety pack? It was some sort of seltzer beer. I'm pretty sure it was White Claw. And she got Trulies. And now skip ahead. We're maybe an hour away from the house. And my stepdad's new wife, this girl's mother, calls and says, hey, surprise, the reason why I couldn't come down with you got canceled. I'm going to fly in tonight. I'm going to fly from New York to Florida now on a whim with only a couple hours to pack and hang out with you guys, help out, and then road trip back. So it's like, oh, cool. My stepdad goes, okay. So you and her can stay at the house, and I'm going to drive. He didn't say it in these words, but he was going to drive to the airport to pick up his wife, which was about an hour and 40 minutes away. And now, in my head, I go, oh, wait a minute. Me and this girl alone in a mini mansion with like an indoor heated pool with lights and shit. This fucking Little Sopranos looking mansion in the middle of Florida. It's just going to be me, her, blasting music, drinking beers, floating around in a pool. I go, oh my God. Oh my God. I contained my excitement because, again, tired as a motherfucker. So we get there. I'm looking around this mansion of a house. I'm shocked. And his mother and stepfather recently moved from California to just about 12 minutes away. I think like 6 miles down the road or something, which might be why they bought the house where they bought it. And their names are Bruce and Joan, came to visit. And we unpack a few things, and my stepfather goes, okay, I'm going to go. And this girl says, all right, want to crack open a couple beers? Let's go to the pool. And I'm like, yeah. And then Bruce and Joan are like, all right, I guess we're going to go. And I still to this moment don't know why. My first reaction, I can't believe. After I said it, I looked to the girl and had this look in my eyes of like, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I just did that. They go, okay, I guess we're going to go. And I go, oh, well, you're not going to stay for a few? We can chat, hang out. It's been a while. And I'm just like, oh my God. What did I just do? And immediately I go, I fucked it. That's it. The end. Holy shit. That is the biggest ball drop. I don't deserve anything to happen now. So, this girl and me are stuck for about an hour talking with this 80-year-old couple at a kitchen table at night when we should be outside drinking beer together in the pool. And, oh God, the conversation's okay. I mean, I like them. I have nothing against these two, but I was just like, this is a mistake. This is the biggest mistake of my life. Why did I do this? What was I thinking? And so we're chatting. This girl brings up more of her stuff. She likes to visit Tennessee. She brought up skydiving. And my response is like, how do you, I could never skydive. I'm like, there's got to be something in you that breaks for your body to be okay with jumping out of a plane. I just can't wrap my head around it. I'm such a little bitch boy. Like I'll stay on the ground. Thank you. Thank you very fucking much. No way. And she's talking about going back, visiting. She talked about how hot her skydiving instructor was. I didn't think anything of it, but we'll get back to that as well. So eventually we kind of wind down the conversation, and Bruce and Joan go, all right, well, we're going to go. It's getting late. And I was like, oh, bye. Bye-bye now. And then me and her look at each other, and we're like, okay, we grab our beers out of the fridge, crack them open, jump in the pool. We're hanging out, and it is so fun. We're chatting, we're laughing, we're just discussing like what we want to do in life. And I'm like, oh my God, that's it. I officially have feelings for this girl. I'm like, okay, for the first time in years, I have a girl to be like, that's the girl now. That's her now. And we're chatting, we're talking. I did the stereotypical man thing of killing a bug for her because she pointed out a giant fucking spider. And I was like, oh, where is it? I went up to it and I fucking just, bye. And she joked around about like, she actually joked around at one point about needing a roommate for for Tennessee, because I was telling her like, oh, Tennessee's probably like my top 3 states I'd want to move to. Like it's cool, the vibe there. Again, me and her agree on a lot of ways of the world and what we like and dislike. So Tennessee is a very cool place for people like us. And she jokes around like, oh, cool, you can come by. I'm going to need a roommate. And I'm like, yeah, I might take you up on that. And in my head, I'm not playing it cool. On the outside, I've learned to fake it enough to act like this cool, suave guy. But in my head, I'm still the same high school / early college kid who was back then we didn't have the word simp, but I was that. I was this pathetic, bend over backwards, obsessed with a girl, the close friend who, if you ever need to talk to, I'll answer any time of night. I will fucking drop anything and then get nothing in return and still do it again. That guy. I'll share a lot more stories about that time of my life, but I was him again in my brain, going, oh my God, this is fantastic. Holy shit, oh my God. A girl that actually kind of is showing like vague interest in me that I vibe with. I don't vibe with anyone. I'm a piece of shit. So eventually, my stepdad and her mom come home, and they're like, oh, hey, whatever, hanging out. We're all hanging out at this point. And we eventually get out of the pool maybe around like 11 after we both killed 6 packs of beer. And we get out and dry off. We're like, okay, we're going to help set up furniture. And I did something that I'm surprised I did. We're chatting in the kitchen, and it gets back to the whole Tennessee thing and her moving, just cracking jokes and laughing. And I go, if I'm going to be your roommate, I don't even have your number, or something along those lines. I was kind of buzzed. That's the best I remember it. And she kind of smirked, and she just flat out gave me her number. And I'm like, okay, that's a good sign. That's great. She didn't skate around it. And I'm like, okay, I got her number. I programmed it. And that was it. We ended up drinking, unpacking. She did this weird thing, though, that I couldn't tell if it was a signal or not. She was joking around when the other two were in a room setting up something about her dog, a male dog who hadn't been fixed yet. And she was talking about why she needs to get it fixed for, obvious list of reasons why you get a dog fixed, a puppy fixed. And she jokes around, of course, fucking my vibes with my brand of humor. She starts making dog dick jokes and Red Rocket jokes. And I'm just like, this girl is fucking hilarious. This is great. And she jokes around about how when she scratches the dog's chest or whatever, that he'll pop off. And she jokes around like, wait, watch this. And the dog is on the floor, on the hardwood floor in front of us. And when she goes to pet him, she is facing away from me, but when she bends down to do it, she sort of doesn't bend at the legs, and she's just sort of there in like these short blue shorts. And I'm like, all right, you said look at this. I'm not sure what you meant. Obviously, I meant that in my head. But normally that would just be me being kind of pervy and weird. But when she's doing it, she From being totally hunched over, her dog, like her dog, fucking, I'm an asshole, her head close to the dog, while she's sort of facing me in that way, she like looks back at me and does this like weird smile. Like when you know an inside joke and you look at someone who and you're like, get it? I didn't think about it until maybe a day later that I'm like, oh my god, wait, was she doing something? Was that supposed to mean something? And I didn't know. All I know is we kept drinking that night, we kept unpacking furniture, and eventually I just remember waking up in the morning. And already at that point, because it's such a long drive and we only have a weekend, we hang out by the pool for a while again. My stepfather's parents come by again. We hang out, we talk, we chat about life stuff, and we go get a pizza. By the way, I don't recommend Italian pizza places in Florida. Guess what? It's not. It's just not. I don't know what it is, but it's just simply not. And of course, this girl being from New York, even though upstate, it's still New York. We're just talking shit because only me and her went to go pick it up. Just us two. Talking shit about the pizza place, laughing about it, how we thought they fucked up one of the pizzas, but they didn't. It was just some weird thing. All unimportant details. But after lunch, it's time to go. And yeah, we drive up. And it is the drive back up where I realize I want to move down south. And I'm like, you know what? I always wanted to leave my home state. I thought I was going to go to New Hampshire. That's still maybe a temporary possibility, but driving down south and experiencing with the four of them now driving back up was an entirely different experience from driving down. Driving up, we made a lot of stops. We chatted. We joked around about horrific things, actually. I'm surprised that we just openly had the conversations we did. But at one point, we stop at a place called Waffle House. Not a name brand, it's just called Waffle House. And it is the middle of the night. And me, my stepdad, and this girl, because the girl's going to walk this dog again, gotta get the zoomies out, decide we're going to stop in a diner. And when I entered that diner, I was like, this is like something the Americana you dream of. I walk in, there's just a few dumpy fat women, but the nicest ladies ever, who just turn around with like their little notepad and they're like, what's it going to be tonight, hun? And I'm like, what? Am I in a movie right now? People aren't like this where I'm from. It's just a few angry teenagers who don't say 3 words to you in a drive-through. But this place was real food, real people. And at one point, the girl hands me the dog leash and goes, can you watch him really quick? I'm going to run inside and go to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm standing outside. Order's already been placed. My stepfather's just leaning up against the counter. The place is abandoned. It's like a painting if you look through the window of just this old diner in the middle of the night. Just kind of black and yellow with like the lights and everything. I'm outside and this trucker just kind of walks up as he's going inside and starts being like, oh my God, hi, with the dog. And he's just super friendly, super funny accent to me though. Cause he was kind of like high pitched, but still that Texas accent. And he's talking to the dog because the dog is super friendly with everybody. And he's like, oh, what happened? Daddy here ain't giving you no love or whatever he's saying. That's not what he sounded like. I'm just an asshole who can't do good impressions. And he's just talking like, oh yeah, ooh, good boy, this and that. And he starts talking about like how he would help out with animal shelters and stuff back in Texas. And I'm talking, and while I'm listening, that's when I'm like, oh, not only is the environment real, but these are real friendly people with real lives. Unlike up north where nobody would look at you, or if they did, they would angrily grunt at you and be like, get the fuck out of my way. People up here suck. People down there are genuine. I think I've always craved genuine people because I've been surrounded with nobody like that. So then this girl my travel companion walks back out and takes the leash, and this trucker guy, he doesn't know that he thinks that we're like a couple. And to be fair, neither of us really denied it, but he sort of just implied like, oh, here comes mama, never mind, I bet she gives you love, and takes over, and we're just chatting with the guy about the dog. And when I'm not the one talking, I'm going, I want to live this life. I want me, a girl, a dog, friendly people. Specifically now I'm going, okay, I don't think I want a girl of this type. I think I want this girl. This one specifically. I don't really get to meet girls. There's nowhere really around here to do so unless you want to meet some bar girl or some Tinder fucking ugh. No one that again vibes with me. That is one of the moments where it really all came together. I want to be here. I want to live this moment over and over until the day I die. I will leave behind my city boy life, dressing like a sore thumb to the point where I was almost embarrassed to go out when I was in Florida because I didn't look the part. I didn't look like anybody around me the way I was dressed. And I was like, oh boy, oh, this is bad. So I was like, okay, this is my new dream. Essentially is what I thought. This is my new dream thing to do. So, long story short, we get back up to RI. And it's later in the day, like 5 p.m. I have work the next day, so I say goodbye. We go our separate ways. I'm going to see them again. They're family friends. And I go, all right, I have a thing for this girl, period. No denying it. I'm actually really embracing it. I'm so happy to finally have an interest of that kind for the first time in years. I downloaded, I swear, half the country songs that she played in the car. I have them on my phone. I started exploring country stations, finding new music. That is my thing now because of this girl. And I did another kind of douchey thing when I got back home. Once I realized that I was really going to start living this lifestyle, I bought a Stetson hat. I'm looking at it right now. I bought a black Stetson hat online. I hope you're all cringing at home, and I wouldn't blame you if you do, because I really did that. So anyways, a few days after being back, I decide, okay, time to text this girl. I'm at work, and I go, this is it. This is the time. I text her, and my thought is, I'm going to open it up with a cool conversation. Just chatting. Because there's a million ins now with her, because it's not like when you, I don't know, meet a random girl out somewhere. So I text her, I'm like, hey, it's me. I'm not going to use, hey, blank, it's blank. I was wondering, what was the name of that song cover of blah, blah, blah song? I really wanted to download it, but I couldn't tell what it was. It's among, like, 30 other songs of yours that I want to download. I text her at like 11 in the morning. It's a Friday. And I go, okay. Now I wait. Now I work. Nothing. Okay, maybe, like people were joking around with me. Okay, maybe she's just busy. Whatever. It's not everybody's always on their phone. She's kind of off the grid. She doesn't have a Facebook. I don't know of anything she uses except for her TikTok, which I don't, to this day, I'm not sure what the name of it is. And weekend goes by. Nothing. Now I'm like, oh, what happened? And then I realize, oh, if she has a type, think about the trip. I'm not it. I don't know what her type is, but I'm not that guy. Period. So now I'm just upset for a long time. And people are joking around with me, which I don't care. I love jokes at my own expense. That's my brand of humor. That real self-deprecating, roasting each other type shit. Like, oh, maybe she's just busy. Maybe she's just this and that. Maybe she's just out fucking a bunch of guys that aren't you. And of course, me, I'm just laughing because, again, I'm not in a thing with her. She was just an interest. And a couple weeks go by. Actually, just a few, maybe 4 days ago, as of this recording. And I'm playing with a group of friends online. And she texts me back. 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later. And she just goes like, oh, sorry, here it is, and sends me a screenshot of the song. I'm talking to these people. I'm going, all right. I'm not even responding to her for a long time. I'm not even going to open the message and put it on read because this girl kind of, I can't say broke my heart because we weren't a thing, but really crushed my fucking dreams and didn't know it. Or maybe she did because we're going to get somewhere else. So the next morning, I'm back in work, and I'm surfing Facebook. I'm friends with her mother. And her mom, after the trip, had tagged me and my stepfather in pictures, but not her daughter, because again, she's never had a Facebook. I've never seen it. Suddenly, that next morning, she posts something and she tagged her daughter. And I go, oh, wait, I thought she didn't have social media. It didn't really come up, me and her in conversation. I didn't ask her about her social media, but, oh, this is cool. Okay. I'll send her a friend request, whatever. I wonder why she didn't tag her in any of the photos. To this day, I don't know why she didn't do that either. But, so I click on it. I look at her info. It's like, oh, cool. Just as cute as I remember. Turns out she's had her account for fucking ever, apparently, because I saw she'd shared a memory. And I see her info, and at this point, I'm sitting in the bathroom at work, and I see her relationship status, and it says married to blank. And skip ahead a minute from this, because following's a spoiler for Breaking Bad if you haven't seen it. Okay, so here's the Breaking Bad spoiler. I perfectly reenacted when Hank looked at the book, did that, like, looked up, and like when he walked out of the bathroom is how I walked out of the stall in that empty bathroom, just like, oh my God. She had actually gotten married the day that I texted her about the song, and she never texted me back. And I click, who is this guy? She didn't bring up a boyfriend. She didn't bring up being engaged. I click, and I look at this guy's profile, and it's her skydiving instructor from Tennessee. And I go, whoa. I couldn't have missed this in a conversation. What? Huh? What the... And now I'm just like, oh my God, my life is over. This is just my luck. I'm in physical numbness the rest of the day. And I find out that she didn't tell anyone when she took her trip to Tennessee that she was... Because she had only talked about how hot the guy was. She'd met him like a couple times before. She got married on a whim. This guy had been married maybe, 3 times, has like a baby. She just... She was going to move there anyway. She just met up with the guy again, married him. I think it's just going to be her and her motorcycle moving there soon. And I never texted her back. I never texted her back after that, because now I'm like, oh boy. If that thing with the dog was a sign, which again, I'm sure it wasn't. That's just, I'd like to think it was. All of the flirty kind of like, oh, I'm going to need a roommate. Oh, I don't even have your number if I'm going to be your roommate. If any of that was true, then she's fucked up for doing that if she was planning on marrying this guy. Or, what might be even more fucked up, she was not going to marry this guy and decided to on a whim. And then I realized, if I wasn't such an insufferable city boy embarrassment, if I wasn't such a cringe-lord piece of garbage, weakling, I could have been the one she accidentally married on a whim, maybe. Maybe, you know, if she's apparently into that sort of thing. I didn't exactly physically fit the bill, but what the fuck? She apparently just likes jumping into shit. And then there was a third option of, what if she wasn't going to marry this guy? And then she realized at some point with one of my disappointments that, like, okay, never mind with this kid. I say kid, I'm older than her. And then she went and decided, this guy's, you know what? If a lot of guys are like the one I traveled with, this guy's special. I'm staying with him. So you never know. You never know. I could be the reason why. I could be a symptom. I could be a nutcase for thinking any of those options. But that was my emasculating trip. Emasculation across the nation, basically. And now I'm stuck with a Stetson that let's be honest, I'm still going to wear. They're fucking cool. A black Stetson, Fuck yeah. I think it's called a Bozeman if you want to look it up. A black Bozeman Crushable. I have a bunch of country music, and I have a few shirts that are like the denim button down short sleeve. I really went full douche. I got immersed in it. But that's because I think I still plan on finding a girl like her someday. And I think I plan on moving there anyway by myself, because I'm not going to find anybody. You're going to find the kind of girl I could build a family with, build a life, a stable, pleasant thing in a nice quiet town, because my life's been fucking turmoil after trauma after. A lot of people have like these just dull lives and want craziness. I've had nothing but craziness, an insufferable, painful amount, and I just want to live a life of like suburban nobody. I just want to be able to chill. That doesn't mean I don't want to do adventurous things, but I want to come back home to an everyman's house with an everyman's car in Everymansville, USA, I think. And I want to do it there. So I'm thankful that I met her and developed the thing for her, because now I know what type I go for now. I've grown as a person, I guess. And, yeah, thanks a fucking lot, lady. So now at this point, here I am. I don't know if there's much of a message to get out of that, but, there you go. I thought that would be kind of amusing. There aren't really any lessons except, always be on top of your game, because you never know. When you let your guard down, that's when it counts. So, yeah. I have to go on with that pain. But, thank you all for listening. I know this kind of ended with just like, oh, the end. But that's really just about all there is to tell at this point. I might never see that girl again. At this point, maybe that's better, because I'm still kind of annoyed by what happened. And yeah, I hope none of my family ever hears this podcast, because they might ask questions of like, what do you mean you have a thing for our relatives, whatever. No, we're not blood related. We're not even related through marriage. So you know what? Doesn't count as anything. You know what? Maybe I do belong down south in that case. Oh God, I'm fucking awful. Anyways, thank you for listening. I'm gonna try to get into doing these. I'm talking with somebody who's also a content creator. Once a week, me and her chat. We go back to through high school, very deep history, and she's been talking me through trying to plan out and make my podcast a weekly thing, because I told her what I want out of it, what I'd like it to be, the kind of vibe, the kind of subject matter, the styling, the recording, when to upload, all the details, and she's kind of helping me out with that. So I think this is my first jump into that realm of doing this regularly, and hopefully I'll be delivering more. So thank you. Make sure to subscribe and ring that fucking bell. I really want to get this off the ground. I'm thinking once I hit 50 subscribers, there's a couple things I want to do. There's a couple things I've had planned for a while, but I haven't done much on this channel lately, so I haven't really done much growing. Sorry, that sniffle was disgusting. So yeah, you can find any of my social media down in the description of links to all my sites. I made a TikTok, of course, because I finally had to give in and do that. I mostly stream on Twitch. You could find my channel down there as well, and it'll have my schedule, which really at this point is mostly Wednesdays, but I'm hoping to expand on that. And yeah, I don't really have much of an outro or much of anything to say, so goodbye.